Hey, how are you? I am Chris Robin, aka at Detroit Beastie, here with Fantasy Six Pack to talk about today's football slate. There's three games. It's Thanksgiving. You got Chicago at Detroit. The Giants are playing in Dallas, and then the nightcap, Miami at Green Bay. Before I get into some player projections and price tags, I want to say happy Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for all the views and the clicks, and even all the messages that I get asking this or that. If I roster this guy, I won't have enough money left over for this guy. And we're always brainstorming, talking about new ideas, players, and what we can do for the greater good. And realistically, FanDuel, DraftKings, not the greater good, but it's fun, it's interesting, and it's challenging. Today, wherever you may be, if you're traveling, you're with your friends and family, why hold back? Just eat your face off, have an extra dessert, have 3 extra desserts for all I care. The holiday season kicks off, so on paper, right, or in the atmosphere, however you want to put it, this is the season you're going to gain some LBs, and that's okay because we've had a fantastic year. So why not treat ourselves? Just don't drink and drive. Don't be stupid. Don't do anything nuts. We should all be safe and happy with our family. Will there be a fight at the dinner table about gosh knows what? Just don't beat up your uncle and don't call your grandma a name that you'll regret. This should be fun. So let's start with the first football game. The Chicago Bears head to Detroit to battle the Lions. And on paper, everything is pointing towards the Lions' direction. And when we look at Chicago, Caleb Williams has had a tumultuous rookie season, but the last few games, last week specifically, he's looked fantastic. He's made some throws. He's put the ball right where it needs to be on the run, yet Chicago still hasn't, gotten over that hump. And truth be told, no offense to any Chicago Bears fans, I think you would be in agreement with me. It's the coaching staff that's holding him back and the team in general. So we look at the Chicago Bears, they're plus 9.5 points. Kickoff is at 12:30 p.m. The over-under's around 47.5. It opened at 48.5, so we've gone down a full point. Maybe I should have opened with this, but I don't have my regular normal notes where the whole page is filled and I have the price tags, price points for both FanDuel, DraftKings, and projections. I'm doing this not on the fly. I guess you could say on the fly. I'm trying a new way, and it's perfect. This is the perfect time for it. So some players, you're going to get price tags and projections. Some players, you'll get just a projection, and the price tag will be left to you. I don't want to treat you like a dummy, but the price points are easily found. So when we look at Chicago at Detroit, I do think Detroit wins. How much? I don't know. Actually, I do know. I'll tell you at the end. The one thing the Lions said, they're not going to wear their throwback uniforms with the straight gray pants and the Honolulu blue tops. They're just going to wear their blueberries and see what happens here. When we go to the Chicago Bears side, let's start with that. Caleb Williams, 7-2 on FanDuel. The Lions, 6th overall against defending opposing quarterbacks. And this is the first meet between these two teams this season. They play each other, I think, that first today, and then the second time is only within a few weeks. Like this division, the NFC North, has been packed and stout this season. But Caleb Williams, I do think he completes 21, 22 passes. I think that it's not unreasonable to think that he can get to 240, 250 yards, a touchdown pass, and we'll go from there. DeAndre Swift is back in town. He's been fantastic for the most part, but his usage, I don't want to say it's tapered off, but they're looking to get DJ more involved, Keenan Allen more involved, the rookie Rome Odunze more involved, and we all know the Lions, that's where you can get them in the air, with wide receivers. They're 25th overall against opposing wide receivers. And some folks will say, well, it's Detroit, Philadelphia, Buffalo, Kansas City, and all those teams, have a better defense. Sure, the Philadelphia Eagles are outstanding, but what folks maybe they do realize it, they just don't care. The Lions, like the last handful of games, they get up on you. So in the second half, the opposing team has to throw. And that's like an odd way to be good defensively, right? The opposing quarterback, you know what he's going to do, and we can, ball hawk and opportunistic and go from there. DeAndre Swift, 6'7", on FanDuel. I think he's able to get to around 100 all-purpose yards, could score a touchdown as well. Of DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, which way are we leaning? I would go with the rookie, Rome, because he's the most cheap, he's the cheapest, the most cheapest wide receiver for the Bears, and that action will be there for him, right? Swift is going to be held accountable, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, but give me Rome to, maybe Rome will score. If Caleb Williams throws a touchdown pass, fingers crossed, it's to Rome. When we look at the Detroit Lions side of things, Jared Goff, Jamar Gibbs, David Montgomery, questionable. Amon-Ra St. Brown, questionable. J-Mo Williams is going to play. But to me, why even fool around? Why wouldn't we use, Jamar Gibbs and Jameis Williams, that 1-2 punch? Again, I think the Lions hang 30 plus points, I should say, around 35. But to me, in these 3 games, I said it on the Discord, the Fantasy Six Pack Discord last night. Chicago, Detroit, and then Miami at Green Bay. That one kicks off at 8:20. There's some room. We can play those games loose in a way. We can pick pieces, but that middle game, the Giants at Dallas, that's the game where we're going to have to be perfect in our, 3-game main slate for today if we want to hit on anything, because the Giants at Dallas, 21-17 kind of final score. But to me, we're going to have to be perfect, because if we're off a player or two, it's going to throw us into a tailspin. Whereas in Chicago, Detroit, Miami, Green Bay, we could put in Tim Patrick and Jameis Williams. We can put in Rome or Cole Kmet, and we'll see what we get. But when you get to the Giants at Dallas game, that's going to be iffy. So the Detroit Lions win 35-14, send the home crowd home happy. Their first Thanksgiving Day win in X amount of years. And I couldn't be more happy. When we look at the Giants playing in Dallas, 4:30 p.m., that's when kickoff is. The over-unders around 37 total points. Both teams they're in the same division, but they're both headed down the tubes in a way. Cooper Rush versus Drew Lock, Cooper Rush versus Tommy DeVito, however you want to put it. But to me, the 2 people that I'm stacking or using from the Giants would be Tyrone Tracy and Malik Neighbors. Dallas Cowboys 30th overall against opposing running backs. They're 21st overall against opposing wide receivers. So Neighbors, after what he said in the locker room, it's not the quarterback's fault. I mean, he's at his wit's end as a rookie, right? Rarely have we seen, let go back 20 years or 10 years, not trying to be an old head or a get off my lawn guy, but normally way back when we were kids, or when I was a kid, rookies, they put their head down and they listened. I like the idea of rookies now, Malik Neighbors, however you want to put it, that are speaking up. They're making their intentions clear, and they're saying, this is what I want, and I think this is how it should go. Any input for the Giants at this point should be welcomed here. So give me Malik Neighbors, targeted 8-9 times, catch 5-6 passes. I think he goes over 100 yards and scores a touchdown. On the flip side, Rico Dowdle, very much in play. That Rico, let's say Tyrone Tracy, Rico, and Malik Neighbors. That's probably the trio of players I want in this game. But get this, CeeDee Lamb's playing, and I believe, looking at what I have in front of me, my projections, Brandon Cooks is going to be activated off the IR. Obviously, wasn't activated this morning. Has to be done prior to. Let me look this up while I have you here. So CeeDee Lamb obviously going to play. Let's see what we get from Cooks. And when I look it up, got the arrow down. That's not good. Shout out to Sleeper for everything they have going. But yeah, Brandon Cooks, good to go for Thursday's game. So he's activated. He's going to play. Brandon Cooks has always been that sneaky move, right? Where we see this game, we stack up the players, and then Brandon Cooks goes off for 2 touchdowns, 150 yards, and we never saw it coming. Just want folks to be aware that Cooper Rush to Brandon Cooks could be a thing today. And Cooks, only $5,000 on FanDuel. It's a wonderful thing. And lastly, there's something that's pulling me towards Theo Johnson here. Could be that Dallas is 14th overall against opposing tight ends here, but I would imagine If Drew Lock is the starter, this kid can play, right? And it stinks that he hasn't. I guess he has been given a chance. He played well in Denver when he was given the opportunity all those years ago. But give me the New York Giants to win in Dallas and send the Cowboys further into the depths of hell as they try to. There's nothing left for them to do this season, but they're going to have to start digging out some form or way. The Giants win 21-17. Our last game here, trying to keep this to around 10 minutes, and I might have babbled a little bit, but I had a lot that I wanted to say in terms of this game, and it's strange. I don't feel rushed, and this isn't realistic. It's not live per se, but this camera, microphone, and my notes in front of me, and we'll go from there. Hopefully it's enjoyable to you. 10 minutes, you can play it. I would like if you could play this on your TV in your home while your family's there, and people can say, who is this dipshit that's talking about football games and he looks completely unorganized and has no clue what's going on? First of all, I am a little bit organized, and more than likely I know what's going on. So thank you. We'll see if we can get any action there. The Miami Dolphins head to Green Bay at Lambeau Field tonight. Kickoff is at 8:20 p.m. Over-unders at 47.5. That's been bumped up a point. And what are we going to do here? Tua and Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, Devon Achane. To me, I'm stacking up Green Bay. And to be fair, I see a case where the Green Bay Packers defense holds Miami under 20 points, right? 20 or more points. Miami's team implied point totals around 22. Last I looked, I believe Miami is averaging 24.5 points scored a game. I firmly believe that Miami's going to have a tough time scoring 20 or more points. I have them right at 20. I have the Packers to win 24-20, and we'll work our way back from there. At the bottom of my note here, there's 3 players I think are musts today, and you're not saying anything. You're going to say, Chris, really good way to go out on a limb. Jamar Gibbs, Josh Jacobs, and Devon Achane. So we put in Jamar Gibbs in that first game, and then we can hang, we can eat, and spend time with our family, and then the late game hammer right to our lineups will come in this one. Josh Jacobs, I have around 19 to 20 carries, 85 to 90 yards, a lock to find the end zone. And then Devon Achane, 14 to 15 carries, 60 yards, and a touchdown. I have Devon to catch 4 to 5 passes for another 40 yards. So you're looking at 100 or more all-purpose yards for Devon. And to me, I had Josh Jacobs, 85 to 90 yards, plus a reception or 2 for another 20. So both starting running backs in this game, over 100 all-purpose yards. Both running backs do find the end zone as well. Chris, when we look at the Green Bay Packers wide receivers, if you think Green Bay wins and they hang 24 points, that's what I have them to score. How are they going to do that? Because the Miami Dolphins are first overall in defending opposing wide receivers. But they have a plethora. They have Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, Devontae Wicks is going to be, asked to do a little bit more if Romeo Doubs is still not playing and active with a concussion, if I'm not mistaken. But to me, of those 3 wide receivers, Jaden Reed has always been, it was 1 year. It was last year. He had a heck of a game playing the Lions on Thanksgiving. And it's just something about these games, right? I had a lot of start-sit questions. Who would you rather have? Jaden Reed or DK Metcalf, let's say. While the projections favor DK Metcalf, I would plug in Jaden Reed for the fun of it. This whole thing we're doing should be for fun and interesting and enjoy ourselves. There's 3 games. Each are standalone games. You can play single game slates if you want. But to me, sitting down at the nightcap, getting in bed, whatever you're doing, and we can watch every snap of the Packers and Miami game, I would put Jaden Reed in there for the heck of it. He's 6'9" on FanDuel, probably looking at 6 or 7 targets, 4 to 5 receptions, and one of those suckers could go for a 30, 40-yard touchdown. Or would that be Christian Watson, who's been targeted downfield a lot more, which is what we thought he was going to be from the start when he was drafted. So Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, Josh Jacobs, that's where I'm going with the Packers. On the Miami Dolphins side of things, the way to attack this game is through the running backs with Devon Achane, maybe Raheem Mostert. a little bit. He's $5,000. Devon is $9 on FanDuel, so there's a whole heck of a lot you can do with $4,000, and he's been kind of not run out of town, but his usage has been dipping. But to me, Devon Achane and Jalen Waddle is where I would attack it from Miami, because finally Waddle has come alive thanks to Tua. So we shall see. Well, Chris, what are we going to do with Tyreek Hill? A 3-game slate. I mean, there's a lot of is not correlation. There's a lot of unknown variables here. And one catch, 80 yards, Tyreek Hill takes it to the house, and it throws everything out of whack. Does that happen? I don't see that happening, but to me, Tua and Waddle, and then if you wanted to with Josh Jacobs and Jaden Reed, that's my 1-2 punch for each team. So give me the Miami Dolphins to win this one, 24-20. I appreciate everyone for being here. We're almost 15 minutes in, and I rambled for a large portion of it, but hey, that's what happens when I had no notes. Don't think I was unprepared. Kind of did this on purpose. Test myself, see what I can do with you, see how it goes over with the folks. So be good, be safe. Give me the Detroit Lions to win the first game, 35-14. The New York Giants to win in Dallas, 21-17. And the Packers to win this one, 24-20. We can all go to bed safe and happy. And tomorrow is Black Friday. Make sure you get to the website, fantasy6pack.net. That Joe, Mr. Bond, the owner, creator, fearless leader, however you want to put it, has a absolutely ton of promotions going on. So check that out. Get over there, and I will see you again soon. There's also a football game tomorrow, the Black Friday game. The Raiders play the Kansas City Chiefs. Maybe I'll put something together for that for you on Friday. I will talk to you soon. Have a great Thanksgiving.